This is Ken Smith reminding you it happened today, May 25th. But the year was 1787. The first Constitutional Convention opens in Philadelphia. It was on this day, 1878, that Gilbert and Sullivan opened the first performance of the HMS Pinafore. It was on this day, 1961, that President John F. Kennedy announces his goal of putting a man on the moon before the end of the decade. It was on this day, 1968, the Gateway Arch in St. Louis is dedicated. It was on this day, 1977, the original Star Wars movie is released. It was on this day, 2011, Oprah Winfrey airs her last television program, ending a 25-year run. It was on this day, 2012, Elon Musk's SpaceX Dragon becomes the first commercial spacecraft to dock at the International Space Station. Incidentally, this Wednesday, SpaceX will be launched once more. It was just 2 years ago, 2018, that Harvey Weinstein turns himself in to the New York police to face charges of criminal sexual acts. Incidentally, he has been released to house arrest due to the virus. But that was May 25th in the past. This is May 25th, 2020, Memorial Day. It was 1970. In the heat of battle, a young Army medic named Brian Rooney, assisting a wounded soldier who was gravely wounded aboard a helicopter for evacuation. Presuming the GI was dead, Brian bent over to read his dog tags. The soldier came to, grabbed Brian's shirt, pulled him close, and uttered his last words, "Remember me." Those words haunted Brian Rooney. Since that date, he made it his business to understand the price that has been paid for our liberty. He dedicated his life to identify all veteran memorials throughout America and researching the biographies of every American who has died defending our freedom and liberty. So far, he has identified 9,000 memorials to those who gave the ultimate sacrifice to preserve and protect our freedom. He has researched biographies of more than 500,000 casualties of the past wars of America. In a study conducted just this past week, 50% of Americans are unable to explain why we celebrate Memorial Day. It's to remember those who sacrificed their lives, believing that there is something more valuable than even our lives, our freedom, our liberty. And so on this Memorial Day, we remember the 25,000 who gave their lives during the American Revolution, 500,000 soldiers, 500,000 died during the Civil War, the Spanish-American War, San Juan Hill, the Korean War, 54,000 soldiers, World War I, the war to end all wars, ended with 116,000 soldiers dead from the United States. My own grandfather suffered as a result of poison gas from World War I. World War II saw 405,000 soldiers. My mother served as a nurse. My father in the Navy. The Vietnam War, 56,000. Almost 3,000 died in the terrorist attack at 9/11. To say nothing of the current war that we are waging with this pandemic. There is much for us to be thankful for on this day. The freedoms that we enjoy have come at a great price, the price which we enjoy in liberty and freedom. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is Ken Smith reminding you, it happened today, Memorial Day, May 25th, 2020.